Joining me on AM960 KLTF is Doug Gardham, joining me today, and we're going to get a chance to talk about a book he's written. It's called The Actor, a Novel. Thanks for joining me today, Doug.
Thank you, Ron, for having me on.
Well, it says here, boy meets girl, meets entourage, meets critical minds, and part of the new original fiction, The Actor. And first, I have to ask about you first, Doug. What is the, have you been writing books for quite a while? Is this something new, or have you been doing it for some time?
Ron, I've written probably for most of my life. What this is really the first time I've actually been published, and I guess you could say to a certain extent coming out. Got to a point where I had really wanted to do something for my kids and my family. I had been writing for years and basically had 8.5 by 11-inch pieces of paper, but with nothing formally. So I went about and got this published and was very pleased with the results, and now I want the world to read it.
Well, it is a little bit, like you said, kind of a whole bunch of things tied into one story, because it has to come through the fact of someone aspiring his dreams only to have the love of his life murdered, and then it becomes a gripping tale of thriller right after that.
Yeah, it's a story that has a lot in it, but it's really a story of, I'll say, of a young man's self-discovery and chasing his dreams. And as you get into it, you discover that it's not quite as it seems as you go through it.
So what was the basis behind this? Was this something you just, you wanted to write a type of a thriller story or something along those lines, or life experience, or how did it become the fact that you wanted to write The Actor?
Well, it was actually inspired a number of years ago. We were out, our kids had grown up a little bit, and we were finally able to go back out to see the movies. I'm a big movie follower and have loved them for years. And we went to see the big, huge blockbuster at the time, which was the Titanic. And at that point in time, so that's a number of years ago, as you can appreciate, and when we were watching it, I couldn't help but think, what if somebody just got out of their life and went to Hollywood to try and chase a dream to become an actor, and what you would go through. So that's what started it, but over a number of years, that's been rewritten, and how it came out at the end now is quite a different story than that, but I'm very pleased with the results of it now.
So take us through a little bit of what's the basis kind of behind the whole thing, some of the characters and things that they'll get a chance to read in the book.
Well, the main character is Ethan Jones, and he is I was going to say a young man that's gone off to college, which is kind of what was set in place for him to do, and finds out that he does have a talent for acting. But a number of things come together at that point in time. And this is why a lot of the book is about overcoming tragedy and tragic events that happen in your life, and chasing those in order to come forward. He falls in love with Mila Monaghan at a young age, who's another important character, and he also meets up with another woman as you go through the movie named Krista White. There's a cast of characters that have different, shall we say, talents, from Randy Baseman, who's an animator cab driver, to some other people that he meets during his journey in pursuing acting.
And again, it's called The Actor. It's called The Actor, a novel by Douglas Gardham. And I guess the big question comes up is, where can they find this book, Doug? It's
available worldwide today online. So Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble. It's becoming increasingly available in bookstores, and as I learn more about the distribution of how the whole publishing industry works, we'll make it more available that way. It's available in hard and soft cover, as well as iBooks and Kindle and Kobo, which I believe are all available today online throughout the world.
And what's next for you? Are you working on another book already?
Well, I have, as I said, I've written most of my life. I have 2 completed novels, and I have a raft of short stories, and this is also really looking like there's a follow-up to it. So I've been kind of very busy recently working out the follow-up to this novel, but I may have a collection of short stories that I'm looking at as well. So I'm very much into this world of writing today, and that's where I'm going to continue to be pursuing my interests.
Well, Doug, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining me again. The book's called The Actor, a novel. Check it out at your local bookstores. I think it's a great read. And Doug, wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Ron, thanks so much for having me on, and I hope everyone goes out and gets a copy of The Actor. Thanks.
Sounds great. Thank you. Doug Gardham joining me this morning on AM960 KLTF Little Falls.